Hi, welcome to my channel, and if you are new here, my name is Ashley and I'm a six-figure reseller on Poshmark and eBay. And recently I've picked up the consignment side of my business, so today I'm going to go over my process of how I run the consignment business. So first you have to gain your consignment clients, and honestly the best thing that you can do that way, and you probably have heard it from a bunch of other people, is just word of mouth. To be quite honest, I haven't had a ton of different consignment clients. It hasn't been anything from me posting about it or really just saying like, hey, do you want to be my consignment client? It really just is from people knowing what you do and letting them know that you are open to consignment. That is a huge part of it as well. And then once you get a couple of clients, really just making sure that they know that you are also open to gaining more clients, and that you would really appreciate it if they knew anyone that was looking to sell their clothes, that they let them know about your business. Some of my first consignment clients have just been friends and family, and they have just told a couple of people. It hasn't spread too much from there. Overall, just like on Instagram, or people coming across my Poshmark or eBay closet, and really they can tell that these clothes are not just all my own, and ask if I do any consigning for others, if they do see that I'm in the Dallas area and they are in there as well, and then that kind of also can get the conversation going. So I guess another tip would be making sure that you have your location in your Poshmark or eBay stores. That is automatically on there, so you shouldn't have anything to do there. But even on your Instagram page or anything like that, it would be good to put your location so people know if you're local to them or not. However, I do take consignment clients from both in-state and out-of-state. The process looks a little bit different there, and you can decide if you want to accept out-of-state clients or not. That's completely up to you. I'll walk through a little bit what they may look like. It's really more so the initial steps that are different, but then everything after that, once you get the items, is pretty much the same. So once I have an interested client, I will take that time to describe everything about the process, go over what I'm explaining to you in this video so they have a good understanding of what to expect throughout consigning their items with me, and especially what everyone wants to know about in terms of payout, how much they're going to get paid, and how they're going to get paid, and when they're going to get paid. Also during that time, I stress what I do accept, because everyone accepts different items for consigning, and also the condition that I expect items to be in if I am going to be selling them. So I let them know that I am looking for mid-tier and luxury brands, any current styles or just current trending styles at the moment. And then the main thing, condition, because you don't want to be sorting through any really dirty stuff, is that you're looking for clean and in great use condition items. Usually I'll let them know that some tiny flaws, tiny stains, maybe tiny rip is going to be okay, but it will decrease the price of the item for what I can sell it for. Sometimes I'll even try to mend it a little bit myself if it is really easy, but I don't go over like to any extent to try to fix it, because if they're giving it to you at that price, like, you can always just let them know that you can sell it based off the flaw. And that is usually for more expensive brands, great styles that I know are going to sell fast anyways, that I will be a little bit more lenient on the condition. So once you have your clients, they are agreeing to work with you, they want to send you items, they're familiar with what kind of items that you are going to accept. The first step that I do in my process, of course, is collecting those items to be able to sort through. I personally sort through everything back at my office. So if somebody is local, I will go ahead and schedule a time to pick up their items from them. If they do by chance want to drop them off, they can do that, but I find it is very convenient for them for you to go just and pick it up. So I do offer that as long as it's within like a 20-mile radius. Probably I haven't had that set stone yet, but I guess it's pretty flexible. Everyone I've had local to the DFW area has been within reason. So I'll go and pick up those items first, and then just take them in my car for a quick drop off, and then go back to my office to sort them out, and then of course answer any questions that they might have or any concerns when they are providing those items. Additionally, at that time, I'll continue to gauge if they're trying to sell items fast, if they are currently wanting to just get what they deserve for the item. I do find a lot of people are just looking to make the money quickly for it, but I do keep that in mind, because I personally, for my consignment business, price things and run them the same as my business, where I'm not going to just give it away for a lower amount if I know what it's deserved for. But if some clients are looking to sell things quicker, I'll be a little bit more on track to drop the price and to continue to send out those deeper offers more consistently if they're looking to sell it within like a 60 to 90 day period. I'll also make sure to get their payment method at that time. I usually do prefer Zelle, so I'll try to get their email or confirm their phone number for their Zelle, or do offer them Venmo or PayPal. If they do offer a payment method that is not their email, I'll make sure to get their email because I do want to make sure I have that in order to send them an itemized list of what I'm accepted later on. But worst case scenario, if you forget that, you can always send them a text or call them, however you communicated with them before, in order to make sure that you have their email to send them that list. Now, if we're talking about an out-of-state or farther away client, this is going to look a little bit differently when I'm collecting the items to sort. I do offer to pay for the shipping for the items to my office, but I do want to make sure that the items that they're sending me are going to be worth the shipping for anyways. So I do a little bit more of a digital sorting. I let them know, first off, please make sure everything is in great condition so that knowing by the photos, you don't have to send any flaws, and then go ahead and send some photos and just of the brands and such, and then I can do a little bit more research on there and let them know, okay, these are good to go, please send these to me, and I'll go ahead and do further research about the pricing once they do come in. I do let them know that I'll pay for shipping up to 10 pounds, but I will take that on a case-by-case basis. If I do see that they have a lot of great items that it's going to be over, but it's going to be worth paying for the shipping for to send to me versus having them even just like break it up and send it to me later. But when you are looking at out-of-state clients who are shipping things to you, I do recommend that you be a little bit more pickier, really making sure that the items that they're sending you, especially if it's a smaller shipment, really just making sure that the shipping makes sense so that you are being able to account for that of what your own personal payout for those items to sell will be, because you don't want to run to a case where the shipping ends up being all or even just like half of that money that you would be making for selling the items. And I don't pay for any return shipping once items get sent to me. So if somebody wants an item shipped back to them, I won't pay for the shipping. They'll just have to cover that cost on their own. So step 2 is sorting through the items. Once I get all the items in, this is going to be more specific to the people that are locally to me. I will split them out into the items that I will take, the items that I think the buy-sell trade stores will take, and then the items that I am just rejecting overall. So starting with the pile of the items that I take, I do go ahead and put them in a Google spreadsheet of the brand, pretty much very similar to my own current inventory system. I just write out the description, the size, and then I go through those items and then I see what I'm going to be able to price them for. And this is also sometimes a great thing about consigning is I figure out what I'm going to price it for early on. So when I'm doing the listing, it's very easy just to go back in and use that own pricing, or if you're having someone list for you, they can currently just use that pricing. So I'll go through, I'll put them what I'm going to price it at, but a lot of the times things don't sell what you have them priced at. So I'll put an estimated what I think it's going to sell at, and usually that ends up being around a 25-30% off of the original listing price, and then what that after fee amount would be based off that selling price. Usually, just to be more conservative, I do use 20% of that actual selling price to see what the Poshmark fees will be, but I always let them know that this is just an estimate. It could sell for more, or it could even sell for less if you're trying to make some quick cash off of it. And then based off that estimated after fee price, I put in my payout percentage, which I will put right here of all the different percentages based off what it sells for after fees. Then that is the percentage price that they get for their own payout, because Poshmark and eBay are different and all the different platforms have different percentage fees. So I take my consignment percentage based off their after fee amount, not the actual listing selling price. So I put those percentages in the Excel sheet as well, and then just calculate out what their estimated payout is going to be for that item. So once I have that all listed out, I'll go ahead and send them the sheet of the items that I'm accepting, and then from there, they can make sure everything is what they're looking for the item. If there is anything that they decide they want back, I can put that back with any of the other rejects to be able to send back to them. If they don't want the rejects, I can always just donate them and then send out the individual items back to them by meeting them up as well. But if they do want all the other rejects, I'll just bring it back with like all the other rejects. Then with the pile for the buy-sell trade store, I'll let them know that these are the items that I am not accepting just based off of, usually more so just off of style and brand, and then letting them know that based off my expertise, I went through and decided what styles and brands that the buy-sell trade stores are more likely to take. I can go ahead, take that stuff to the buy-sell trade store to help them get some extra money instead of donating them or giving them back, and then we can go ahead and split whatever that is 50-50. And I am upfront and just let them know that most buy-sell trade stores give about $4 $2 per item. So they're kind of looking at $2 per item that the buy-sell trader takes for their own payout. So now the biggest part of consigning is done, sorting through the items and really connecting and making sure they're familiar with the process. And the next step is just going through and processing the item. I process everything exactly the same as my own items that I currently get. I store them away with everything else as well. I just make sure to notate in my different consignment Excel sheet where they're listed at, and so that when they do sell, I have a note of that it is for a consignment client. Now, the last step is paying out my clients. So I do pay out my clients around the first of every single month, and then I do pay them out on however they do decide their best form of payment method would be. And when it comes to sending them their payouts, I only send them payouts on items that are eligible and have completed the full selling process. So on Poshmark, that's a lot quicker just because the return in case period is only 3 days. So a lot of the clients can be paid out a lot sooner on that. And usually if something sells within the prior month, they're gonna get paid on the next first of the month coming up. However, on eBay, it's a little bit different because you never know what can happen with eBay during their 30-day window after delivery. So I do make sure that that full window is closed before paying them out. And I do this to make sure that I'm just not at a loss for anything, because if something comes back or there was any issues with the item, maybe there even was a flaw that I didn't see prior and I have to relist it for less or anything like that, then I don't want to be out for any of my own money. And especially with some of the payouts, that can almost sometimes completely take up all of what your payout used to be. So I go ahead and I just wait for that period to close. And that is pretty common with other online consignment sites. For instance, the RealReal, they don't pay you out until that 14-day window closes of someone being able to return the item. So that's pretty standard for consignment businesses. Unless you have those consignment businesses that don't take returns at all, they have their own sites, and that is why they're able to pay out their clients automatically after a sale. But on these different platforms, you do have that window, and so that is why I wait for everything to be completely closed before paying out the clients. And once I do send that payout, I will go ahead and email them an itemized breakdown of what sold. So I'll send them the item that sold, what it's sold for after fees, and then what that fell into for their payout percentage, and then what that amount was, and then the total altogether, so that they can see exactly what sold and how much they made from it. One of the main things that you want to make sure that you are doing throughout the consignment process with your clients, especially starting off, so you can develop good relationships with your beginning clients so that they can continue to spread the word, is that you have good communication with them about their items when they have been listed and when they have been sold, because everyone likes to know the status of those items. If you have ever sent anything into ThreadUp or the RealReal or any other different consignment places locally to you, you like to know where things are at in that process, so you know exactly how much you're going to be made and nothing gets lost within the process. So try to do your best of letting them know once you do send out that itemized list of when they're expected to be listed, even if once all their items have been completely listed, letting them know that everything has been listed and that from here on out you'll be contacting them about sold items, and then being really specific about what has sold. I do think that goes a really long way. And another additional thing I didn't really go over fully too much was about people that are looking to sell their items within 60 or 90 days. I usually keep it at that period and ask them if they do want to have their items back at 60 or 90 days. And if so, I will go ahead and make sure to drop the prices. If it's not selling, I will contact them, ask, hey, do you want this to be listed longer? Are you looking for your items back? And I also am open for any of my clients to take any of their items back at any point in time if they do want to do so. If they are out of state, they will have to pay for the shipping back. If it is someone locally, I will go ahead and schedule some time to provide it back. If it is something that's smaller, I usually will probably wait till maybe a bunch of items I have to send back, especially if they're having a deadline for their sales, or if it's just really close and convenient, I'll just give them back that one item. So that is my full consignment process. I'm still always working out little tweaks here and there whenever any random questions come up that I haven't really thought about before. But that is why it's always good if you are starting to look into do consignment to really get a clear process in place. You don't necessarily even have to write it down, but really have a good idea in your head of how you're going to do it for every single person, because you do want to be consistent for each person. And especially if you're getting referrals over, you don't want something to be different for one person than the person that had referred them over. Some numbers and some things that you'll probably want to keep in mind before you reach out to any clients, or just some things to know at the back of of your head is what your turnover rate is, and on average how long an item takes to sell, because that may be some questions that clients do ask you, just to give them an idea of how long it may take for their items to sell. If you have any questions on this process, feel free to leave them below in the comments or send me a DM on Instagram at ReCloth Collection. If you are looking for any different consignment tools, let me know. I'm thinking of maybe putting something up on my website, reclothcollection.com, where I have a ton of different tools and resources for reselling and such. So if you think that would be helpful for you and something that you'd be interested in, please let me know, because I haven't really decided if I want to do anything like that yet, but definitely potential if more people are interested. But I wish you luck on your consignment journey. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if it helped you, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel and turn on that notification button to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the videos that I put out every single Wednesday. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.